Okay, hello, this is an introduction to Adobe InDesign, okay? This is the best tool to work on multiple page designs, right? So, I mean, at the moment, of course, in the future, I don't know, but right now, it is a standard if you want to design books, brochures, or like magazines, newspaper, okay? So, professional designer use InDesign, right? I mean, there's also other substitute software like Affinity and others as well, right? Which is much cheaper, but still, if we speak about the workflow, like a professional workflow, okay, on multiple page designs, then InDesign is the most powerful tools, okay? So basically, when you open the software like this, right? It is the same as Illustrator. You can use like this kind of like size, typical size here. There's a the size for ebooks on iPad, or if you want to design website, something you can select it here, or even just standard A4 print, or just click on more presets here. You can also put all the information here as well. Okay, if you look on the top here, you will see different types of documents here that you could choose. If you work on print production, then choose this one, right? And as you can see, there's a there's a basic size of paper or work here, like letters, right? Half letters, legals, and tabloid. Tabloid is like, of course, is a type of newspaper, right? Okay, and if you want to work on website, you can also, select the size here as well. If you want to do like a magazine online or something like that, okay, you can do it here as well. And there's also an option for mobile here, right? If you want to arrange some of the multiple page documents on iPhones, iPad or something, okay, just select it from here, or you can create new here. Just select it. It is the same as Illustrator, right? So usually there's many units you can work on, okay? You can use point, picas, inches, millimeters, centimeter, scissors, aggregates, and pixels. If you're going to work on, let's say, digital magazines, right, that people will read on website, then you might want to select pixels, okay? But if you want to use it for printing, then I would suggest you to use centimeters. That is quite common in Thailand. And you can also use inches. Mostly in America, they use inches instead of centimeters. But in Thailand, we usually use centimeters instead. So select on it. This is A4, typical A4 document, right? The orientation, the same as Illustrator. There's a portrait orientations. If you want it to be portrait, just select this one. Or landscape orientations. Okay, it depends on the document that you want to work on, right? And this is the number, right, of the page that you want to create. For this particular project, right, there's 4 pages, right? So just put 4 on it, okay? And the start is the starting page, okay? And if you want the document to kind of like become like a facing page, okay, it's not going to split into single page or something. Just make sure you tick this box, right? Tick this box. This is the columns, okay? If you want to use more than one column in your document, you can increase it. Like for newspaper, usually it use around 4 to 6 columns, for instance. But if you work on books, typical books like novels, usually it's just 1 column. But however, you can create and adjust this number later, and also you can create grids, right? Gutter is the space between columns, margin, of course, is the space, right, surrounding the workspace here. Right now I will just use the defaults here. You can also unlink the margin as well and just come up with your own numbers here, but I would recommend you to just link it just for now, right? And then hit create here. Wait for a while. Okay, now you have this document. Okay, you might see a lot of panels here, which is very unorganized. Woo. So okay, just go to window, go to workspace, alright, and just select essential or essential classic if you just work on, let's say, typical projects, right? But if you work on printing and proofing, okay, just select this one if you choose the panel that fit with your projects, okay? Or if you work on books, select this one, or typography, select this one. But I would recommend you to just select essential or essential classic here. That is just typical, tools that we usually use in nearly every project here. You can see there's a pages here. This is one of the highlights of InDesign here. And on the left, you can see this tool, right? It's pretty the same with Illustrator, but there's some minor differences. Okay, some are quite similar. Okay, like the shortcuts are quite similar in some of the tools here, which is good, right? Okay, good. Okay, hand tools. Okay, as you can see, okay, let's take a look at pages here. Okay, as you can see here, we have 4 pages document, right? So this is our workspace, right? This is the cover, right? The first one is the cover. The second one is of course it's the inside page, right? This is inside. There is the back cover. Okay, so you can also increase the number, okay, of the pages by click on this plus sign, create new. Can you see it on the bottom here of the pages here, right? Select this one and it will create more pages here. You can also delete it by right click on it and delete page like this. You can also duplicate some of the pages here as well, duplicate by using duplicate. If you want to move some pages, okay, let's say, okay, this will be more clearly. Okay, I will put one of the text here on page number 3 here. Okay, don't worry about this command yet, alright. Okay, on page number 3, as you can see, it's the only page that has this kind of like text box, right? If you want to move it just behind the page number 4, you can drag it and put it, okay? So right now it becomes page number 4 instead, okay? So you can switch it, drag it around, or if you want to be a first page, just drag it, okay? That is pretty easy, right? There's one of the functions that is very awesome. Okay, so next, okay, the tools, right? The selection tools, there's 2 types of selection tool, the same as Illustrator, okay? The page tool, okay, I will talk about this later. Okay, the text tool. The unique thing about the text tool here is, you can do the same in Illustrator by kind of like, create a text box like this, right? In Illustrator, you can also do that, or you just click on the workspace just one time and then you can type it, right? But with InDesign, right, the shortcut is T, right? This one. If you click it only once, right, nothing going to happen on the page. So if you want to create like a text box here or anything, okay, you have to create like a, like a text box, okay, so that you can type here, something like that. And you can also adjust the text box here, like this, okay. And another thing you could do, if you could like highlight it, okay, here they will have like a functions of the characters, okay. the detail with the character, that you can change the fonts like this. Okay, you can increase the size here as well. You can change the leading, increase the leadings, the same as Illustrator, right? And you can also do the kerning, okay, or change the tracking or the space between the character here as well, right? They're just typical things you could do with the text. That is pretty easy, right? Next, if you want to insert your picture here, right, you have to place the picture inside this file, right? Just go to File and place it. Just press Control or Command if you use Mac, right? Control for PC, right? Control and D together on your keyboard. Okay, this is the thing that different from Illustrator, right? In Illustrator, if you want to place the picture, you have to use Shift Control P, right? Or Shift Command P for Mac, right? I'm using PC anyhow. Okay, anyhow, just Control D or just go to File and click choose Place here. Okay, and select the picture that you want. Let's say I'm going to select this one. Okay, I mean, if you kind of like click it once, okay, it will be the actual size of the pictures, which is too large, right, in this part, right? So again, if you kind of like drag it, okay, don't forget to hold down Shift to kind of like make sure that it's been adjusted proportionally, right? And release it like this. Okay, it will be on the page, but you might notice that there's a white space between the pictures. This is because the container of the picture is bigger. You can also double click on the picture like this. You might notice that, okay, before you click it, you will see like a blue corners, right? The blue lines, the blue blocks around the picture like this. Okay, you can move it around. But if you want to kind of like crop the picture or zoom in the picture, right, you can do that by just double click on it, right, on the picture. If I kind of like zoom in a little bit closer, you might notice this line, okay, in brown color, all right, and you can kind of like adjust the picture inside the box here or the frame here like this. Okay, you might notice it here that the picture here is a little bit pixelized. To check whether your picture is pixelized or not, all right, you have to check about the display of the screen here. So I mean, sometimes here's the thing, okay, if you use the full resolutions, okay, in the display mode, right, sometimes the file will be too heavy and error might be occur. It will slow down your workflow, all right? So make sure that you go to views, okay, and go to display performance. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Go to view, go display performance, right? Usually it will be set in typical display, okay? So it might be pixelized, but in the real world, okay, it's not going to be pixelized. It's just how it display to reduce the file size, right? Just for the preview, right? So you know where the picture is and you know where we're going to put it on your workspace, okay? But if you change it to fast display, okay, you can't see anything except, the outlines, right? Which sometimes is not very useful. So usually when you go to views and display performance, right, just select typical display. But if you want to check whether it's pixelized or not, you might change it to high quality display, okay, and just zoom in to 100%. If it's not pixelized as 100%, then usually it will be fine, right? Right now I can see from my screen that it's work really fine, so it should be all right. Okay, this is how you arrange the pictures on the page here, okay? And okay, speaking about the colors, again, it's the same as Illustrator. You could also change the color by highlight all the text here. Then we click on the color, change the colors, right? If you work on printing, then make sure you use CMYK color mode. But if you kind of like work on digital screen, then RGB is the choice. Okay, and what about this number? This is called hex number, right? It is the same as RGB. However, it's like a code for programming, right? We can place this number into the programming, and of course it will show up this color, right? That is pretty easy, right? To make a, this is just quick tutorials. This is just introductions how to work on, Fonts Lab. Oh no, sorry, not Fonts Lab. I taught typeface design last semester, so I'm still a little bit confused. Sorry for that. InDesign, yes, InDesign. Okay. There also are the functions which we will learn step by step. Alright, don't worry about that. The pen tool is the same as Illustrator. Okay, you can create, shapes or things here. Okay, this is awesome, right? Make sure that when you place the picture, you also link the pictures into this, panel as well. Otherwise, when you export it, okay, sometime it will be also disappear, right? Make sure you become organized, right? Create a folder, and put all the pictures in that folder and then link it, right? Otherwise, if you don't link it, error may occur, okay? Another interesting thing is this, okay? On the bottom here where is it? Okay, sorry for that. Can you see the here the green dots here at the end on the bottom of the screen here? I will try to zoom in. Okay, it's saying that there's no error, right? If there's an error occur here, okay, it will turn into red, and if you double click on it, it will tell what's wrong with your files, right? So make sure you check that there's no errors before you export the file, right? So another thing that might occur is that, okay, you have a columns here, right? If you're going to kind of like, sometime if the text goes over beyond the border of the frame here, like this, okay, error occurs, right? Can you see it? It changed to red dots here, and it says one error. If you double click on it, it says this is pre-flight, right? Pre-flight is like, it's a system to check whether that's error or not before you print it. So you double click it, it will show the page number that, there is a problem. You click on it, and you can see that it's on page 4, okay? The problem is, there's a text that go over the border of the frame, okay? You have two things you could do to fix the problem, all right? First, of course, just extend the frame, okay? Extend the frame like this. Or another one is just click on the plus sign here and create another columns, okay? The text will continue in the new column, and of course, if you kind of reduce one of the columns, right, the text will go to the second one like this, and vice versa, right? Make sure there's no errors, okay? No red plus sign over there, right? This is one of the things you could work on. The text here, you can change the color by using swatch here. Okay, if you can't find any panel or anything, it's in Windows. Usually it's in Windows, like the styles here. We're going to learn about paragraph styles, right? And of course, character styles here, table contents and other stuff too, okay? But for the time being, this is just a quick tutorial, like I said, okay? You can also work one by one, okay? By just arrange your text here, place the pictures, make sure you kind of like, adjust all the fonts here by using basic tools here. I will teach you about the master page later, alright? What it's about. Oh, and another thing, if you kind of like, okay, if you want to change the unit, the quickest way is go to the corner, right click on it, and change it to, you know, the unit that you want. Right now it's centimeters, right? And if you want to change, you know, the coordinations, you can move it like this, right, or somewhere else, right? As you can see, the number in the ruler keep changing. Okay, it depends on, you know, where you put the coordination on the paper. Right now here is 0, right? So next, if you create like a grid line, right, as you might see grids here, it only show in one pages. Okay, this is called facing page, right? Facing page, it means that, I mean, it's a different page but it's facing together. Okay, so this is just a single page, this is facing page. Okay, as you can see, if you work on a facing page like this, okay, the grid only shows in one of the you know, page here on the left. If you want it to show on both of the pages, just hold down Control and drag you know, grid line from the ruler like this and release it here. And sometimes you create too many of the grid lines. Sometimes it could be a little bit headache, right? You can't see you know, the real design because of this grid line. Okay, I'm going to like place this kind of like text, just, you know, just to test things around. Okay, you can just hit the braille. Okay, just hold down the braille. Okay, and it will kind of like hide all the grids here. And if you hit the braille again, okay, it will show all the grids here. That is pretty easy. Another function that is pretty cool, you might notice that I have this kind of like random sentence, which is nonsense words, right? This nonsense word I use for like you know, to design the layout. Sometimes you just want a filling text and you don't know what to write, right? You don't have to write it on your own. Okay, you don't have to copy and paste it from website or anything. This is just for the layout designs. Okay, and then you just, you know, when you want to know where the column will be and, you know, what it's going to look like. But of course you have to delete this kind of silly text later, right? There's a function called placeholder text. Okay, basically you have to go to the text, okay, or hit T on your keyboard, right? Create like a text box here, right click on it, right? And then that's going to have a function called fill with placeholder text here. Can you see it? Hit on it, hit it. Okay, now you have this text. As you can see right now, since we're not in the high resolution display mode, right? So the text is a little bit blurry. You can see the alias, you can see you know, pixels in some of the text here. Okay, it is because, like I said, okay, the display that we use here, it's just the display. Okay, it's not about the actual work. Okay, display performance. Oh, if it's in high quality, then there might be a problem. Yeah. Okay, make sure you just select typical display, right, first, and then if you want to check whether your pictures or, you know, your text work very well, just go into high quality display to just check it, right? But make sure that you just zoom in at 100%. Okay, if it is more than that, it's too much. Okay, it might be a little bit blurry. That is quite common, right? So that is just the basic thing about you know, InDesign